Hello, partners. Yes, today is number 59. For more than a year, my writer, researcher Dennis Daly has profiled people having a big impact on American history, but nearly all but forgotten. Well, today's honoree is one of the most important industrialists of the last century, a man who didn't have a lot of friends. He used to say, "I don't get ulcers, I give them." Well, in true Paul Harvey rest of the story fashion, I'm going to wait until the end or near that to remind you who this fellow was. Okay, starting off this way, even though he led one of the most important broadcasting dynasties in America, he came to the United States while still in grade school. Yes, his family lived in poverty in rural Russia. They only had enough money to send one family member to the New York City area, and so they chose this week's honoree. He was not even 12 years old, but his parents said to him, "Make the most of America. Get a job. Earn money. Send some back to Russia so we can all come over and join you." Well, partners, he did just that. He couldn't speak a word of English, but got a job selling newspapers, and each morning he arrived before dawn to beat the other newsboys to the street corners. Yes, he learned English by reading those papers. He did save his money and sent for his family. When they arrived, he put them to work in his newspaper business, even hiring his dad. He was a quick learner and got a job at the American Marconi Company, but he suffered abuse because he was a Jew. Often, no one wanted to deliver reports to others in the company, so they just shout out Jewish phrases, anti-Jewish phrases at this young man. Well, our honoree quietly delivered those sensitive papers, but he read the papers first and knew everything about the company. One day, reading those papers, he learned that the great man himself, Guillermo Marconi, was about to visit. Well, when Marconi came in the door, our young honoree rushed up to him and greeted him and said, "I'm at your service, sir." Marconi was so impressed, he put the young boy to work as his personal delivery boy. Imagine that. Often, our honoree would take flowers to Marconi's many mistresses around New York City. What? Well, we're going back in time. That happened. He learned Morse code and became one of the fastest telegraph key operators in the company. Then one night in 1912, he was practicing his code and heard a faint message. "The Titanic is sinking. Send help." Well, our young honoree hit those keys and sent them everywhere. He alerted boats and the fishing fleet at Halifax, Nova Scotia. He saved many, many lives. Well, when RCA was formed, it bought the Marconi Company, and this young Russian immigrant became the president of RCA. He spearheaded the development of AM radio and asked a close friend who was an engineer named Edwin Howard Armstrong to clean up noisy AM signals. Well, Armstrong not only cleaned them up, he invented FM, frequency modulation. When TV had its beginning, our honoree began televising regular broadcasts in New York City from 1939's World's Fair. Yes, he helped General Dwight Eisenhower coordinate all the communications necessary to make the D-Day invasion a success. He was a pioneer in satellite communications and predicted, quote, "One day people will carry little devices in their hands to place telephone calls around the world." Hey, what a guy. Friends, here he is, David Sarnoff. Actually, General David Sarnoff. He was given the title after his work on D-Day. Broadcasting owes this little man so much. Just think, while he was still a little boy, he came to New York City from Russia alone. No language skills, yet he became one of the most important industrial leaders in the whole world. And here's something else that's going to surprise you. He was forced to marry a French girl arranged by their parents. Yeah, he once told a reporter, "She spoke no English. I spoke no French. We had nothing in common at first, but eventually we did find something to do. We had 3 sons." Now that's funny if you think about it. David Sarnoff, the man who was not an engineer, but hired the best people to change the face of broadcasting. Okay, partners, you know the drill. Look up there and see those 3 familiar squares. The one with the red X over the far side is the one you click, and it'll come back to the report page for the rest of today's comments. I've already told you about how General Sarnoff was in charge of RCA in BC when I did a program for young people. Yes, Webster and I emceed Funny Boners, a children's version of Truth or Consequences. Dennis, thank you for recalling this week's honoree. I know you'll have researched another interesting American when we open our email next week. Hey guys, I enjoy being with you so much. I do really love you. Go get 'em, Tigers!